Crunch, crunch, crunch. I think I'll go on the grass. Hello guys, it's your buddy Rorschach here. Guess where I'm going? Yes, it's to the gym. How's everyone doing today? You doing well? You enjoying your comic books? Are you enjoying the sun? Are you getting out in the real world and enjoying some of the glories of summer? I am. I'm having a good time walking around with my selfie stick. At least I was having a good time until I read this comic book here, Second Coming. It's kind of gross and it's very, very blasphemous. Okay, so Second Coming, what's that all about? This was the comic book that generated a little bit of controversy because I think it was DC Vertigo, wasn't it, who refused to release it because of a backlash from what remains of the Christian community in America. And I just want to say about that decision that I think it was the right decision to make, because there's no way that DC Comics would release the Islamic version of this book where they're mocking the faith, mocking God and mocking the prophet. They wouldn't do that. DC Comics would not do that. So if you're not going to release a book that mocks Islam, why should you be mocking Christianity? It's double standards basically, isn't it? So there's no double standards going on DC Comics. I applaud them for that. But there is definitely some double standards going on with Ahoy Comics. Yeah, because let me spit out. Because Ahoy Comics most certainly would not be releasing a book that's mocking the Prophet of Islam. Prove me wrong, Ahoy Comics. Prove me wrong. Release that book. Release the mocking Muhammad book. You know, I'd love to read it, but you're not going to do it, are you? So, double standards. Okay, the writer of the book, I'm not going to even mention his name. I'm sure he's lurking on Twitter, and I'm sure he'll be aware that I do this comic book review. Some little sneak will tell him. He'll be rushing to my channel and he'll be looking to flag the video. I know he'll be looking to flag the video because the superhero in this book is physically assaulting the villains because they're committing intellectual property theft. So I'm very wary now of the dude who wrote this comic book flagging this video. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you the front cover, that little panel which I've just showed you, and I'll give you a brief, very brief taster at the beginning of the comic book, the kind of taster that you'd only get in a preview. Okay, so roughly 2,000 years ago, in the beginning, God was lonely. So God created some human beings to keep him company. He named his new friends Adam and Eve. Of course, he not only wanted people to think of him as a friend, but also worship him as their almighty God, not realizing that he can't really have both. I think this was the source of a lot of his frustration with the human race. So I guess the writer of the book can jump inside the mind of God and understand his motivations. Well, not really. He's just blatantly mocking him in a very, very blasphemous and disrespectful way. It continues through the book with God portrayed as a bit of an idiot, a bit of a dolt, an absent father, really, a guy who doesn't really know what he's doing. He's constantly mocking people, constantly messing around with their heads. There's a moment actually in the book where the victims of an aeroplane disaster go up to heaven, and God takes one of the guys, one of the victims of the disaster, by the shoulder and says, "Mate, there's been a mistake here. You're not actually due to be accepted into heaven. You need to go to hell, where you will be tortured forever, etc." And the guy goes, "Oh no, that's terrible, I'm going to hell." Then God says, "Ha ha, it was only a joke. You get to stay in heaven, really." So that's the kind of humour you get in this book. It's a very regressive, old Monty Python, lefty kind of humour. And I say lefty because the writer himself is explaining how brave he is. At the end of the book, he actually provides an essay where he intellectualizes what he's doing, right? And the two biggest problems in the world today that he identifies are global warming. I love a little bit of global warming. It's lovely today, even though the entire idea is total and utter bullshit. So global warming and healthcare. Healthcare is portrayed as being some sort of human right. The human right, of course, coming from the new god of today, of the left, the government. There is no self-awareness in this book at all. It's not tackling things from a switched on, red-pilled point of view at all. The writer is just the mainstream CNN watching, Hollywood movie consuming, boring old school leftist. No red pill action in Second Coming, no real rebellion in Second Coming. It's a massively disrespectful comic book, very crude, very gross, not really saying anything new about the world today, and just it comes across like an old Monty Python movie, but with added grossness. So that's the Second Coming, issue number 1. Not rebellious at all. Prove me wrong, Ahoy Comics. Prove me wrong and release a book that's all about Islam. Okay, I think I'll end the video there. I'm off to the gym. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay guys, thanks for checking out the vid. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you'd be so kind, and hit the bell for instant updates. I got some weights to lift. I'm going to feel the burn in a good way, not a Bernie Sanders way. Take care, later.